I have been making customs for literal years. And with that, I've grown quite the collection. So today, I wanted to share my collection in 3 parts. The first one we will be focusing on is steam, then we'll move on to diesel and narrow gauge, and finally rolling stock. So let's begin with Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas was made out of a normal 2003 Thomas with modifications and a Nakayoshi face. I've made an entire video on this guy before, so I'm not going to go into that much detail. He hasn't really changed much since that video, and genuinely still one of my favorite customs I've ever made. Edward. Edward was made out of a 2003 Edward with a 2001 Edward face, an Emily tender, push-along Rebecca wheels, and a modified chassis. Seriously love how he turned out. Might go back and add the wheel arches later, but that's another thing for another day. Henry. Ooh, this is one of my 3 favorites. Tied for first. Made him out of a Mattel Henry with a Mattel Mike tender and a D'Agostini Henry face, along with some more push-along wheels. I'm going to make a video about him because of a poll on Twitter. But yeah, seriously, one of my favorite customs of all time. Absolutely love him. Gordon. Ooh, this custom. He is made out of a 2003 Gordon with a 98 Gordon face. I modified him to have smoke deflectors like the real Scotsman at the moment. He has a 3D printed tender from my great friend Dax, aka Flying Scott Films. Go subscribe to him if you're not already. Cut down his boiler and the cab so he would look proportionally great. Love this custom, although not on the same level as Henry. James. Now this custom. I am gonna go back at some point and redo him to be better. But for now, he is made out of a 96 James with a 96 face and a 2003 tender. He got an extended front, but there isn't really a lot to say about my James. I swear I will update him in the next coming days. Percy. Yeah, Percy was made out of a Millie with a Scarlowy saddle tank and a 2000 10 take and play Percy face? Genuinely love how this custom turned out though. Can't wait to get the capsule face from Dax. Seriously Dax, I'm begging you, please send that package. Toby. Ooh, Toby. One of my oldest customs who have gone through many revamps throughout the years. Made out of a 2001 Toby with a 2003 Toby face simply because the original one started to get old. Love how he turned out. Obviously blue side plates and all. I want to make them shorter, however. Maybe that will be another project. Duck. Duck was made out of a duck. Yeah, not a lot of modifications here. I gave him his funnel and a new dome, however, along with a new face, and just painted him up in dark green. Not a lot to Duck. Still love how he turned out, however. Love the paint scheme. Donald. Donald is being covered separately from Douglas simply because I have not updated Douglas yet. I actually cut off Donald's weird triangle bits. I know they have a name, but honestly I don't care at the moment. On the side of him, simply because they went around when it's only supposed to be at the front. He's in purple because I really like the Scottish twins in purple. Love how he turned out. Douglas. Yeah, he's basically the same as Donald except way less detailed and not received that mod yet. I still like how he looks. Purple on the Scottish twins looks amazing. You can fight me on that. Oliver. Yeah. Oliver has been one of my oldest customs I've worked on. He is now made out of a 2005 new style Oliver with a 2005 old style Oliver face, with a push-along wheel. I might move it back at some point because I don't like how close it is, but other than that, I love this model. Molly. Yep, already made a video about her in the right. You can go check that out. But I will say, she is the second one tied for my favorite spot, along with Henry. Made out of a James, along with a Mattel, Emily Tender, and just a take and play Molly face. Love this model. Genuinely one of my favorites. Arthur. Yeah, Arthur is made out of a Belle, simply because Belle was more accurate to the IVA 2MTs than Arthur. However, I need to get Arthur a new face. The wooden railway one is way too big on him, and I don't like it. I will pick up a take and play Arthur at some point and replace the face. Other than that, I think this model turned out pretty damn good. Marklin. Yeah, the Marklin engine. Decided to make him an actual character. He is made out of a Rosie, with a Thomas Smokebox and a Ben face. Not a lot to talk about him. I love this model though. Pretty damn good. Big City Engine / Reginald. Yeah, I will admit I was the first person in the fandom to give him his full running board. Still pretty damn proud of the fact. Although Reginald's gonna need an update at some point. He's actually lacking compared to the other customs. I still love him, however. I love this model. Still think it holds up, even without the updates. Mari / Big Bertha. Ooh, this is the third one tied for my favorite. So Henry, Molly, and Mari are my favorite. Now, this model is basically a hodgepodge. Rosie face, Victor lamp, Henry body with an extra rusty cab, and a Percy running board underneath that cab, along with a James Tender with an added bit of that rusty cab. Genuinely love this model though. I think it turned out pretty damn accurate. It is one of my favorites. Croven. Yeah, this model has a history that I will go into another day. But all you need to know for now is that he has an Oliver face, a old style Gordon for the body, and a Emily Tender. Love how he turned out. Alfred. Yep, that B12 everybody loves to hate is here. He is made out of a Gordon with a Bandai Gordon face and a wood Gordon Tender. Yeah, this is basically just a weird looking Gordon. Love how he turned out, however. Rosie. Now, here's a custom I'm going to be talking about soon. Rosie was made out of a normal Rosie, however heavily modified, and with a tiny bit of a front of a Percy. I love how she turned out. Genuinely one of my... I'd say she's my second best model. Murdoch. Yep, just made a video about this guy, so I'm not going to go fully in depth. He's made out of 2 Murdochs and a Hero front chassis. Loved how he turned out, however. Pretty damn good if I do say so myself. Fergus. Yeah, I genuinely love this custom. Dax also totally loves this custom. You should totally send Dax purple Ferguses. I'm joking, but yeah. He is just a normal Fergus with some modifications and painted purple. Hi Dax. 16. Yep, here is a model I am planning to modify real soon, once I get an actual Wilbert. He was made out of an Ertl Wilbert sitting on a Skarloey running board and chassis, with a 16 face. I think he looks pretty damn good. Spencer. Yep, an actual livery for Spencer. He is wearing a livery that Hush Hush actually wore. Yeah, he's not actually Hush Hush though. Dax won't let me. He is made out of a normal Spencer, along with a 3D printed A3 Tender from Dax. Thank you, Dax. You've helped me a lot with customs. Rebecca. Yeah. This is another custom from Dax because he made the main body. However, when it got shipped over here, it got damaged, and I decided, you know what? I'll paint it purple because it was the year that an actual Bullied Pacific got painted purple. He's made out of a Gordon, from what I can tell, and a wood Rebecca with some cardboard making out the rest of the shape. and a Frida tender from me, modified. Again, thank you, Dax. You helped me so much with customs. Lord President. He is an actual P2 that existed, although not in his streamlined version, because I don't really like the streamlined P2s. Have at me. However, he was made out of a Gordon, with a Spencer tender, and a Stevens face. I love BR Experimental Purple. Speaking of which, Walter. Yeah, Breaking Bad jokes aside, Walter was made out of a normal Spencer. And it's again based off an actual engine that wore this actual livery. Walter K. Wickham's. WW. I wonder where I could have gotten this reference from. Bertha and Dusty. Bertha and Dusty's are OCs by Kenny Cartoons. I was allowed to make them and adapt them for my own series. Bertha is made out of a mic with a Percy front smoke box, a Ertl Percy face, and an extended funnel, whilst Dusty is made out of a James. Need to extend the front of Dusty though. Maybe tomorrow. Timothy. Yeah, he's alive in my universe. Love this guy. He looks so damn cool. He's made out of a normal Thomas with a Billy face. However, I based his actual livery off of the actual Burnt Umber livery, just gray. Love how he turned out. Pretty damn cool. Edward's Ghost Engine. Yep, I don't have a name for this fella. Although he isn't a ghost, despite what one engine believed. Made out of a Donald with a fearless Freddy face from Take and Play. I think he's going to be a fine addition to my collection. Neil, Clive, and Matthew. Yeah, Neil was made by Dax, again. Genuinely, thank you so much, Dax. I cannot understand how much he helped me out with customs and made me customs. Clive and Matthew are both custom-built engines, or scratch-built. Clive uses a duck face, whilst Matthew uses a mic face. I think all of these guys turned out well. I've even added my own little touches to Neil. Again, thank you so much, Dax. Harvey. Harvey was made out of a wooden railway Harvey. Who would have guessed? He uses a Reneus chassis cut down to size. I think he looks pretty good. Going to add his wooden block buffers at a later point. Colin, Lily, and Adam. Yeah, these guys get hella views whenever I bring them up, so here they are again. Adam is made out of a old shape Henry with a lady smokebox and a mighty face. Lily is made out of a Thomas with a Millie face and has her accurate wheel arrangement, and Colin has a Luke face with a Bill/Ben body cut down. Glenn and Nigel. Yep, these two again. Nigel and Glenn are both custom made with spare part with a Jenga block, a Thumper face for Glenn, and a D261 face for Andy. They've gone through a lot, but I can happily say I'm pretty proud of them. Old Shape Henry. Bet you weren't expecting this? Just a 2001 Gordon with a push-along Henry face. Nothing much. I think he turned out pretty well though. Sonny. Well, I guess it's his time to shine. I'll go more in depth on him at a later point, but he is made out of a Ben with a Thomas face and modified to be a full cab without a bunker. I think he turned out well. Fenchurch. Yep, he's just made out of a Stepney with a Scarlowy face. I love Fenchurch though. Best terrier. Wellsworth and Suttery number 3. Yep, the original Wellsworth and Suttery number 3. Made out of a Billy with a cut down cab and a Douglas face. I think he turned out pretty well though. Bill and Ben. Yep, I decided I didn't want to repaint Bill to match Ben because Ben had been repainted at some point. So I decided to make Ben blue. Yeah, they're just Take and Play Bill and Ben's though. Pretty cool though. Jesse and Bluebell. Ooh, love these two. Jesse is based off the real-life Thomas when he was in his industrial livery. As for Bluebell, Bluebell is my old Oliver, but modified to be the actual Bluebell. I think both of these turned out really damn good, though. Dominion of Canada. I decided to put him in BR Green instead of Garter Blue because BR Green looks better. Have at me. However, he is made out of a normal Spencer. One of my oldest customs that is still around, but I love him just the same. And Lady. Lady is an old custom that I need to redo. Made out of just a normal Lady, there isn't a lot to say. I still think they look pretty good though. And yeah, that's basically all the customs for part 1. I guess I'll see you in the next part. Oh, what's this? There's a final custom? Huh. Well, I guess it's time to reveal him. Been hinting at who he is for a while, and if you've been able to figure it out, it's Ryan. Trust me when I say you'll be seeing a lot more of him very soon. Well, you guys blew up that video. I guess I should finally do that part 2 now. We're going to be starting off with the engines I've modified throughout that time. So here's Henry. I already made a video on Henry. I just added a dip in the running board because I really think the Black 5s deserve that, and changed his dome. Gordon. Now, Gordon's only change basically is just that I shortened his firebox. James. Oh boy, James. I gave him a full repaint since the video and got rid of the gold lining because I think the blue just looks better on him. Pretty happy on how he turned out despite my distaste for James. Toby. Toby is honestly the biggest change. He literally sits on a new chassis, a Mike chassis, and I cut down the original one railway Toby to fit him. I need to make a video on him, he looks great. Molly. Yeah, basically to explain this, the paint got too thick. I decided to get new yellow paint, and that's what happened to Molly. She got a repaint. Pretty happy on how she turned out as well. Here's Douglas. Now, I put him in LMS Maroon because I think it looks great on an H12. Yeah, not a lot to say here. That's basically the modification. Reginald. Oh, yeah, I just gave him a repaint. Not a lot here. Croven. Yep, he is now a B1. This will be explained on how he became an engine from the 40s when he existed in 1923, but again, story for another day. Alfred and Thomas. Yep, Great Eastern Railway buddies. Why? Because I think this color looks amazing, and I have explanations for this, but you'll have to wait for that. In the new shorts coming out soon. I don't know when though. The Green Engine. Yeah, I saw a real-life Caledonian engine from a photo, which was a mogul. Decided to recreate him. I think he turned out pretty well. I have no idea what I'm going to use him for. I'll be real there. Emily. Yeah, I was finally able to redo her. She is made out of a Talking Emily, and I modded her to be bigger. Pretty happy on how she turned out. And finally, we have Lady, or as I like to call her, the Lady of the Valley. I'll give more lore on her later. So, Boko, made out of just a normal Boko with a Japanese toy face. I don't remember it. It was pretty small. And obviously painted up to be more realistic to an actual Class 28. I'm gonna need to redo him at some point. This is like a year-old custom. Bear. Bear is made out of a Diesel 10, actually. An extremely modified Diesel 10. Yeah, cut off the claw, completely resculpted the top of his roof, and gave him a buffer beam, along with paper faces designed by my good friend Argo. Seriously, dude, thank you so much for these. They look amazing. Splatter and Dodge. Yeah, Dodge is made out of a 2017 Diesel, and Splatter was made out of Splatter. Why I did that is because I already had a Class 13 already made, specifically the front of Dodge. Pretty happy on how these guys turned out. I think they look great, even though Dodge is dead. Oh. Salty. Yep, I finally made a custom Salty. I painted him in maroon and then leathered him to hell and back. At some point I'm going to buy a seagull and put it on the top of Salty. Seriously love how he turned out, however. The weathering is probably the best I've ever done on any model ever, so I love him just for that. Devious Diesel. Yeah, he is made out of a 2022 wooden railway diesel, modified to look better. I gave him an old diesel chassis, and a new style diesel face, and boom, I made the perfect diesel. You're welcome, Thomas community. I did your job. Diesel 10. Yeah, I'll be real, I'm not really happy with this custom. I wish I did more, but the diesels are pretty simple. I'm probably going to get a his claw, though. I really want to add back that claw. Still like how he turned out, though. Old Stucco. Yeah, he's just made out of a Walmart diesel that I bought for $2. I painted his face and then painted some simple details onto him, mostly because I'm not going to be using Old Stucco a lot. He's basically just a background diesel. Love how he turned out, though. I think he looks great. Clarence. Clarence is in need of a new model, but he is based off that one illustration where they gave Bert Salty's face for some reason. So I rolled with it, and now we have a third Ironworks twin. Again, needs basically to be repainted. This is a very old custom. The Murdering Diesel. Yeah, he's made out of a Paxton. Why? Because that's the only other extra diesel, or 08, in general, I had lying around. Made him a custom face, and here he is. He's a very old custom, though, and I probably need to redo him as well. A lot of the diesels need redoing. Sandy. Now, y'all might call me crazy, but, yeah, I think Sandy can work as a Wickham's trolley. So, Sandy is a actually covered Wickham's trolley. And, yeah, that's basically it. I think she's just a maintenance engine. And she's really small. Like, look at that scale. I think I did a very good job. Pip and Emma. Another two that I made out of Walmart engines. I just flipped Emma's magnets and gave them names, and yeah, they need a repaint. I'll be real, they really do. They're lacking behind, they need new faces, they need a lot of work. I'll probably be working on so many of these diesels after this video. So be prepared for like part 3 with the trucks to have just a whole bunch of redone custom engines. And the final diesel on the roster today, Mavis. Mavis is made out of a normal one railway Mavis. I gave her a new little exhaust stack, gave her her hazard stripes, repainted her face, gave her a buffer beam, but FQC on the side instead of Clark Quarry Company because I cannot write that small, vents, handrails, and steps. That's basically all the work I did to Mavis. I think she turned out well, but I'm probably going to need to revisit this custom as well. Now, this would basically be it. If I had not completely forgotten to mention something, we're doing the narrow gauge characters as well. So here's Rusty. Rusty is made out of just a stock standard Rusty. They were weathered to hell and back, and I think they turned out pretty well. Ivo Hugh. Yeah, Ivo Hugh is a hodgepodge that I'm going to need to revisit. Made out of a Luke and a Sir Handel. I definitely think I can do better. I was just not very skilled at the time when I made Ivo in Erdl. Although I do think I can do way better nowadays. Yeah, that was basically it for the Skarloa gang. But not the Mid-Sildor. Here's Stanley. Stanley was made out of a Duncan with using a Bachmann Renee's face. Covered up his wheels to give him the tram skirts that not only Audrey's model has, and also so I didn't need to modify the chassis. I think he turned out pretty well. Smudger. Smudger is made out of a Renee's actually, given a Bertram face. And why did I do this? Because I think the Bertram face looks way better than the Erdl Smudger face. Seriously, how did you guys screw this up that bad? On Smudger, the originator of the face. Stewart. Okay, I know what you guys are asking. Why is he blue? Simple. So trucks make sense because Sir Handel, or Falcon, was literally never green or red in this universe, so I decided to make Stewart blue and edited his funnel to be in that shape. I'm happy on how he turned out. I think he looks pretty cool. Atlas, or the Mines Engine. Yeah, he's made with some balsa wood, a piece of a paintbrush, a Wilbur face, and a Erdl troublesome truck. Pretty good, if I do say so myself. Albert. Yeah, he's just a Falcon in my universe. Simply because I think he looks better that way. And I took inspiration from Ireworth, somewhere Wales, for his paint scheme. Seriously love how he turned out. And finally, Ernest, Godred, and Eric. Godred was painted red because of the magazine, and the other two are in different shades of purple to differentiate them. I'll probably actually give the rest of the Coldifel like different liveries as well, but I'm going to stick with purple for now. I like how they turned out. But yeah, this is basically it. I'll see you guys in part 3. Later. Hello everybody! Sorry this took so long. I finally got motivation to do it. But as such, because it took so long, I decided to throw in every single modified custom that I have done throughout the last year. So let's start out with Timothy. Timothy got a brand new coat of paint, basically. Just updating to newer standards and a clear coat. Pretty happy on how he turned out. Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah, more or less same as Timothy. Update to the livery and a clear coat. You're going to be hearing this a lot in just this video in general. Pretty happy on how he turned out. I feel like those black tanks look very nice on him. Edward the Blue Engine. Edward's model has received quite a few modifications, including adding wheel arches. Again, more repaints and a clear coat. Pretty happy on how he turned out as well. Henry the Green Engine. Yep, Henry got even more mods. I completely tore out his old firebox, put it in Jenga brick. Why? Because I hated my old firebox. I think this looks much better. Again, repaint and a clear coat. Gordon. Gordon hasn't received a lot of changes. Just another slight update by repainting him and giving him a clear coat. James the Red Engine. Yep, not a lot of changes to his model either. Literally just a clear coat. I think I nailed him. This is my James now. Oh yeah, he also got a white border around his buffers. Other than that. Percy the Small Engine. Yep, he got a complete repaint and a bit of lining. Again, repaint and clear coat. Toby. Yep, he hasn't changed a lot since the last time you saw him. He literally just received a clear coat. That's it. Duck. Again, repaint and clear coat. Let's move on. Donald. And Douglas. Yep, Douglas went back to being purple. Why? Because having the twins in separate liveries just didn't feel right. So, repaint and a clear coat. Oliver. Oliver really only received the top feet. Other than that, a repaint and a clear coat. Molly. I've actually cut down her firebox quite a bit. Other than that, as usual, repaint and a clear coat. Arthur. I actually gave him Arthur's old smoke box. I think that's cool. Other than that, repaint and a clear coat. Markland. Markland has received extensive mods. Cut into the front to make him more accurate, pushed back the smoke box, cut into his running board, and cut into his cab. And then a repaint and a clear coat. Reginald. Yep, the only true mods to him were a repaint and a clear coat. Mari. Mari's only true mods are a nameplate, a bit of a cut into her boiler to make it more accurate, and you guessed it, a repaint and a clear coat. Croven. Yeah, I gave Croven a wooden railway type wheelbase. Why? Didn't look good with a 460 type of wheelbase. Other than that, he got a repaint and a clear coat. Alfred. I actually painted him in a navy blue this time. So, another repaint and a clear coat. Rosie. Yep, Rosie got a repaint and a clear coat. Nothing else to say. Murdoch. I evened out his running board so it could all be nice and flat. And I made his tender more accurate. Fergus. Literally just a clear coat. That is it. Rebecca. Rebecca got a complete repaint and redesign of her windows and lining, and a clear coat. Spencer. Spencer got a complete redesign, including a new tender, a more accurate A4 firebox, and, well, just a better livery. I love the Silver Link liveries. I think he turned out amazing. Harvey. Literally just a repaint. That's it. Next. Billy. Yep, I made Billy a cabless engine and gave him a take-along face. Absolutely love him to death. Nia. Nia's model is made out of a Thomas and a wood Nia face. I'm extremely happy on how this turned out. Ryan. Repaint and a clear coat. Next. Basil. Basil is my interpretation of Barry the Rescue Engine, but with a better name. He uses a James, a Mike, and a Diesel to assemble him. I think he turned out well. Sayori! Hey look, I finally figured out what to do with that green engine. She is now just in LMS black with a bit of lining. Very happy on how she turned out. Dudley. Dudley is made out of my old shape Henry. Just modified to look more like an O2. Not a lot to say here. Jeffrey. Jeffrey was made out of a James, a Henry chassis, a Hero cab for the firebox, and a Frida boiler. Trust me, this was cut up long ago before she was rare. Very happy on how he turned out. Boko. Boko hasn't really received anything. He got a couple modifications and a clear coat. Bear. Bear received a repaint and a clear coat. Next. Mavis. I cut down Mavis quite a bit to make her more accurate to a real 04 and gave her a good repaint and clear coat. I think she looks a lot better now. Sandy. Sandy got a repaint and a new roof. Nothing much else. Spam truck. Made out of an Orbrium paint-it-yourself truck. I absolutely love Spam Truck, one of my favorite characters. Annie and Clarabelle. Annie and Clarabelle are made out of Orbrium coaches. I cut down their roofs and painted them up. Oh yeah, and they have gray faces, because I like it better that way. Have at me. Isabel and Mirabelle. Again, made out of Orbrium coaches. I cut them to make them look more like auto coaches, and gave them gray faces. Express coaches. Yep, they're just express coaches, but purple. Not a lot to say here. Henrietta. Literally her only mod is getting a face. Next. The old coaches. One is made out of a Ertl coach and the other one's made out of an Annie. Painted up. I should probably redo the first coach at some point, but I'm pretty happy with how they are right now. Brown troublesome trucks. Made out of the old Blue Mountain Quarry trucks, I just cut off their loads and painted them up. Honestly, I should go back and give them a repaint and a touch-up because that is showing its age. Another troublesome truck. Literally just the recycling truck painted gray. Next. Milk tanker. Just an Ertl milk tanker put onto a circus train chassis. Gray flatbed. Just a flatbed painted gray. Not much to say here. The tar tankers. Two of them were actually made out of your own, make it your own tar tankers Thomas One Railway made. And the third one was just made out of a random fuel tanker I had lying around. Just painted black, put the word tar on it. Not much to say. Vans. Yep, just made out of Annie's and Clarabelle's, painted up. I should probably redo the lean truck at some point. You can still see their windows pretty visible in pictures. And Ulp needs just a repaint in general. Still happy with them though. Another van. Literally just made out of a zoo truck, painted up to be like a normal van. Think it looks fine. Should probably make it just a cattle truck though. Fred Pelhay. Just an extra 2017 Scruffy I had, painted up as Fred Pelhay before I got an actual one. Not much to say here. A cattle van. I think you all know his name. Just an Orbrium make-it-yourself coat, just painted up to be like him. Yet another troublesome truck. Yep, I just took an Ertl troublesome truck and stuck it onto a James Tender chassis. Not much to say here. And finally, our Lord and Savior, the brake van. Truly, the most simplest of things are the most beautiful. My best custom. Just a spiteful brake van with a giggling troublesome truck face. May he bless us all. God bless Biscuit Cat Productions for making such a beautiful man. And that's mostly everything. I just need to take a moment to thank you guys so much for tuning into all of this. I never thought this would get as big as it did. I just wanted to show off my custom collections. I thought it was only going to get a couple thousand views, I'll be honest. I did not expect 13,000 views on the first part. And then it not only ranking my most viewed video ever, but then the second part ranking as my 4th most viewed video ever. And it's probably going to take 3rd at some point. So, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate all of this. And with that said, this is That One Train Guy, signing out. Goodbye.